All right, well, good afternoon, everyone. Owen, Fritz in here with you on a Sunday afternoon, about 3:50 this afternoon. We do have obviously a big severe thunderstorm warning that's down here for several counties, which we'll get to in just a minute. Kind of looking here at our coverage map of our coverage area here, we see that line of storms progressing off to the southeast, and we have a severe thunderstorm watch for the counties out ahead of this here. You can see in this purplish color. That goes until 7 o'clock tonight. Not sure if it's going to hang on that late, as this line looks like it's going to cross out of the area by 7 o'clock. So we'll start to see those watches come down. But right now we want to focus in on here the big polygon, excuse me, if you will. For our area down here near Dayton, as we take a zoom in here, getting ready to cross and crossing I-71, getting ready to come into Washington Courthouse. So if you're watching us in Washington Courthouse, heads up to you. You do have a severe thunderstorm warning here, and this goes until 4:15. So we have quite a large severe thunderstorm warning. We've had a few along with this cell, but this is one of the larger ones of the day. So we have a severe thunderstorm warning remains in effect for East Central Warren, Fayette, Clinton, Southeastern Greene, Northwestern Highland, and Southwestern Madison counties until 4:15. So this is quite a large area, and I know as it went through Dayton, and one of the reasons we came live here too is to give you a little update. I know as it's come through Dayton here, we have seen some trees down. We've seen a lot of power outages and some of the other things that go along with this. Here's a little bit better look at this storm cell, kind of looking at it from the Wilmington radar here. You can see getting ready to cross into Washington Courthouse, gives you a little bit better vantage point. It looks like strong winds here for what's going on at the moment. So the biggest threat out of all of this, we're seeing definitely some lightning, and we're definitely seeing strong winds. Getting several reports coming out of Dayton. We got some wind gust. We got some damage of trees down. 50-mile-an-hour gusts at the ASOS. We're also looking at lots of limbs down up in the Dayton area. So Miami counties and Montgomery counties, we're seeing lots of those reports come in. And down ahead of this towards Washington Courthouse, we're looking here to you guys in Washington Courthouse. Heads up to you. You need to be indoors away from windows as this goes by, as we're seeing a lot of powerful winds with this. Now, one of the good things here for today, we can't totally rule it out, but we're seeing a decreased risk as this continues to push forward a little bit, not on seeing any type of tornado activity today. I can't totally say it's ruled out, but thus far, this is more of a straight line wind damage threat that we're seeing across the area. So it's important to make sure, again, that you, if you're anywhere inside of this polygon right now, that you're seeking shelter indoors and away from windows. This is currently moving off towards the southeast, and it's going to be continuing to move off towards the southeast. And when we look at this, I'll zoom out just a little bit, but when you look at the Boeing-type structure of a linear storm, this is going to be the strongest, excuse me, I'm sorry, I'm coughing. This is going to be the strongest portion of it in that storm. Kind of gives you that Boeing arrow or area, excuse me. That's where we're going to see the strongest wind gusts as it moves out. Now, we do have power outages all across the area now, too. So I'm going to pop those up on the screen here for just a second. Let's go ahead and look at those power outages right now from poweroutage.us. What you can see here is in Ohio, we got about 38,000 customers without power at the moment. And a majority of that coming out of Greene County right now. Looks like there's about 9,400 people without power there. Coming over to Montgomery County, we got about 18,000 people without power there. A couple 600 or so in Miami County, and then go back to Darke County, about 600 as well. So right now we're seeing a lot of power outages between Greene and Montgomery County, and that's one of those indicative natures of this storm cell that has obviously pushed through the area, bringing through some very powerful winds from what I've been told there in Dayton. But once it's passed, it looks like we're seeing some clearing in some spots and some rain. We do expect another round of storms in the overnight hours that we're going to be continuing to look at, and we'll talk about that here in just a minute. But as this continues to push off towards the south and east, heads up to you all. If you're out ahead of this, Washington Courthouse, this is on your doorstep. Make sure you get in and seek shelter away from windows. If this holds together, we're looking here for some of you down in Highland County are already under the warning, but it may be extended off towards Ross County, Chillicothe area, Pike County, etc. So if this holds together, this is where that peak portion of that storm is. You can see in this whole line, this bowing structure now, you can see this is where the most severe winds, this is the leading edge of that. This is the most pronounced bow, if you will, and that's usually where the actual leading edge and strongest winds are with this storm cell. I have to say, I didn't kind of expect a large polygon like this one came out. I didn't expect that at all, but they went ahead and just go ahead and gave a lot of people warning, especially as this peak portion of this large extended bow is heading out towards Washington Courthouse, and if it holds together, moving towards Chillicothe. So we got a lot of viewers down there. Wanted to come on and give you guys all a heads up on that. It's important to us because I know we have a lot of people down there in Chillicothe, Washington Courthouse as well. So let's take a look here quickly. Excuse me. Can't get my voice back. Let's turn off the radar and let's turn off some other things so that way you kind of see the model data that we're seeing here for the overnight hours. We can go ahead and pop this back to the ONW area as well. Let's load up the model for tonight into the overnight hours. We'll go ahead and load up the latest model. And we're going to back this up right now. Let's go ahead and back this up to current time, 4 o'clock, and let's load this up. This is kind of how the model is showing it, and it's not had a great handle on it per se. We're seeing more of a bowing structure than what this is showing. And it's a little bit off, but it has a decent handle where the fronts and the precipitation is. So as this progresses here, again, this is not really where it needs to be. I'm not 100% sold on this as far as the structure goes. This is more filled in than the model is picking up on, but we've seen some limiting factors, and we weren't sure if that was going to hold together. The model still doesn't have a good handle on that per se. But let's look at this kind of more of that bowing structure, but we want to start to focus our attention here off into Illinois. So let's go ahead and I'll move the map here just a little bit. This is that next round that's coming into our area that we need to look out for in the overnight hours. So this is what we're looking at here. This storm cell starting to creep up here in the state of Illinois, and this is at 9 o'clock tonight. Let's go ahead and advance this towards the 10 o'clock hour, and as we get into, I'll roll it towards 2 o'clock. You can start to see it move in here in just a second towards the state of Indiana, towards our coverage area. 3 o'clock, a little bit closer to northwest Ohio, northeast Indiana, more of a linear threat. And as we head into the early morning hours of tomorrow, about 5 o'clock, you could see it kind of start dissipating, but at the same time, too, can't let our guard down completely because we're seeing some of that heating tomorrow and that heating element and some backspin to this little system over towards Cleveland tomorrow afternoon. So we have a lot of different areas of concern over the next day or so. Pretty much the bottom line on this is with the atmospheric setup that we're having on the heat indexes that, hey, we're going to see potentially some storms tomorrow as we move forward into the afternoon hours and early morning hours. I should say early morning into the afternoon hours. So it doesn't quite jive as maybe you want to say exact times, but pop-up storms are possible as well. It's going to be very warm in spots tomorrow, especially for portions of our coverage area. We're going to have the heat index near 100 in many spots, so it's going to get very, very warm tomorrow, very sticky, and kind of that icky day that you don't really want. And with that comes the chance of some pop-up storms. So let's go back into our storms down here in progress. We'll go ahead and flip back on our warnings as well and to kind of show you what's going on here. We don't see a lot of flash flood warnings coming through yet, although I do see a lot of heavy precipitation that's fell with these storms as well. Let's go ahead and zoom back in here into our severe thunderstorm warning in progress near Washington Courthouse, and it's getting ready to come on your doorstep right now. And seeing a lot of winds, I would say, throughout this is the main threat. They keep trimming that polygon back, crossed over 71 here. The storm cell's moving about about 35 to 40 miles an hour, and it's kind of been that way today. It's not been picking up too much steam. We're moving between the 30 and 40 mile an hour range with these wind gusts of up to 60 miles an hour possible. Again, this severe thunderstorm warning that continues to be updated here goes until 4:15. So we are seeing the wind threat being observed. Do notice that. So that's not even radar indicated now. So that is saying we do have an observed reading of 60 mile an hour wind gusts embedded with the storm cell. Here's the latest radar that just came in. It looks like a lot of rain continuing in. Not seeing a lot of hail as we were earlier. I know earlier we kept seeing hail potentially at 1.5 inches, but that seems to settle down quite a bit, which we're very thankful for on that as well. And the rotation wise, we're also seeing that calm down. We've seen a little bit of rotation earlier. It was very broad, but we're not seeing that anymore along this linear type threat now. So as we zoom out just a little bit here, kind of see that bowing structure once again. Usually that leading edge has the most impactful winds inside of it, which is what we're seeing here this afternoon. So a lot of rain. And once it gets past you, you're pretty much good to go for the day. You have some embedded showers behind this. But as far as the severe threat, can't totally rule everything out, but it's not going to be in an organized fashion. You could see a pop-up cell here or there as we head into the evening hours. And then, again, in that overnight hours, we're seeing a more organized threat for our counties over in Indiana that we'll continue to watch on. So looking at this, in the early overnight hours, not going to put a storm track on this, unfortunately. And the reason is it's the storm cell exactly keeps speeding up and slowing down a little bit. So this is moving right now, currently at about 34 miles an hour as it's moving out of Washington, moving into Washington Courthouse, I should say, heading towards Chillicothe. We're going to have to wait and see here in the next couple of minutes if the National Weather Service decides to issue a severe thunderstorm warning downstream of this. If they were, it would include portions of Ross County, probably Pickaway County, and maybe even Pike County, depending on how they would issue it. But we are still seeing winds that are over 60 miles an hour within this embedded area. All right, so I just quickly wanted to come live. I'll zoom back out here. We'll go ahead and flip back out to the wider view of the entire coverage area. Kind of see this is the one severe thunderstorm warning that we got going on. Make sure, again, that you also have ways to receive warnings and know where to go inside any one of these storms. Maybe have some brief spin-ups with them, too. Know where to go during tornadoes as well. So make sure that you keep that in mind. And basically with the wind, make sure get inside and away from windows as well. If you want to, you can track the weather with us on our app. Free to download Ohio News and Weather in the App Store, Google Play Store. You can get alerts with us, follow along with us, track radar. It has some of you that are asking, hey, the tracker, you can go on there and put future radar into play and kind of see right where your area is to see when the storms are going to approach your area. So play around with that. It's a good app. We pay good money for the app for you guys, free of charge. We want you to have that. We want to keep you ahead of the storm. That's our mission here with the Ohio News and Weather and Bell Park Weather Network as we continue to progress throughout the day. I will bring it back to radar real quick because we do have a new severe thunderstorm warning that was just issued. So let's go ahead and zoom in on that. Downstream of this, you can see it taking more of a southerly type turn. This new warning does not include Chillicothe. So it just stops just short of Chillicothe, but they went ahead and reissued this severe thunderstorm warning here. We'll go ahead and put this up, and this goes until 5 o'clock. So this severe thunderstorm warning is for southeastern Fayette County, northwestern Pike County, Highland County, and western Ross County until 5 o'clock. They're stating here right now that the thunderstorms are located along a line extended from near Holland and moving east. They're saying at 60 miles an hour, but there's no way that it's moving at 60 miles an hour. 66-mile-an-hour wind gust was observed at the Wilmington Air Park. And so they're saying observe 60-mile-an-hour wind gusts now. Expect damage to trees and power lines. So if you're outside, move to an interior room and away from windows. That's the most important part here with the severe weather. So strong winds being observed over 60 miles an hour. We've seen at the air park, so we're continuing to watch this storm. And again, on this Boeing structure, that's that leading edge. We're seeing a few pop-up storms ahead of this. But this new severe thunderstorm warning, I'll repeat it one more time for you, that just came out. We'll go ahead and put it back up here on your screen. This new severe thunderstorm warning, again, is for southeastern Fayette County, northwestern Pike County, Highland County, and western Ross County until 5 o'clock. So that's what we're looking at here along this line as it moves towards the southeast. So Columbus, if you're in Columbus, you're getting in on some of the action here in just a few minutes, coming around the outside of the Beltway. You could see some stronger showers here as it heads into the Columbus metro area, coming across the 270 belt. Plain City's getting on some of the action right now. Some strong gusty winds embedded with this. We're seeing some reports along weather stations along here, about 30 miles an hour or so in some of these areas, and some strong winds and some gusty showers and some thunder rocking through this as well as it's getting ready to approach the Columbus area. So heads up to you as well. So we're keeping an eye on this. We're watching it for you. We're tracking it with you. We continue to look at this together, and we're continuing to monitor this storm. Don't want to overhype the situation. We just want to come live and say, hey, we're continuing to watch this with you. Download the app again. If you want to follow along with us, you can track the radar right from your phone, get alerts, all that fun stuff. So make sure you download that app as well. But again, we're continuing to watch this. We're continuing to post updates to our page on things that we find. And again, we're continuing to see power outages as well. Let's go ahead and pop those back up one more time before we go. Let's go ahead and get a refresh, see if there's any latest update on that. We are starting to see a little bit more, so let's go ahead and flip over to that. And from poweroutages.us, our friends over there, we're starting to see some other power outages now in Clark County. So 2,200 without power in Clark County, 8,500 in Greene County without power, 2,700 now without power in Warren, 19,000 without power in Montgomery County in the Dayton area, and about 600 or so in Miami County, and 600 between 600 to 700 here in Darke County. So even in Preble County, 1,600 out, 3,100 out down in Butler County. So this storm, as it's approached and continues to approach, is bringing some very strong gusty winds, and it continues to be, sorry about that, clicked the wrong button, continues to be moving forward off here towards the east. So if you're in Chillicothe, heads up to you. You're not under the latest warning, but if it holds together, we're seeing now observed winds over 60 miles an hour. So make sure that you get indoors, away from windows, and let the storm pass, and then you can get on with resuming your day. So kind of wrapping it up here again, we have this Boeing structure. We do have a severe thunderstorm warning that's out that we talked about just a moment ago, and we also still have this severe thunderstorm watch. You can see they trimmed a lot of watches, counties out of the watch, but out ahead of this, you still are underneath this watch until 7 o'clock tonight. And again, I think this is going to be gone before 7, so you'll start to see these counties again drop off out of that watch as we head here into the next couple of hours. So bottom line is, make sure you have a way to receive warnings here for the next couple of hours if you're out ahead of this. And we are expecting some more severe weather in the overnight into tomorrow morning, especially for our Indiana counties. So you'll have to continue to keep it tuned here and make sure that you have a way to receive warnings again in the overnight hours. So with that, we're going to wrap it up. We'll continue to come back live as we need to. Thank you for continuing to trust us and follow us here at Ohio News and Weather. We'll continue to come back live as